UFC 311 Makhachev versus Tsarukyan 2 is live from Intuit Dome, Inglewood, USA this Sunday, the 19th of January at 5 a.m. South African time. Up next is the Parlay picks for this event in Fighting with Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's your boy, brother Guy, back with another episode of Parlay Picks. This time it's UFC 311. Unfortunately, I don't have my guy, AD, with me to do this parlay. But I'll do it with you myself. And I was looking at some of the props, look at some of the numbers for this weekend's fight card for UFC, and obviously, we are using Sporting Bet here in South Africa, and at the moment, the parlay, the props are out. They only stick two-way bets, so I'm gonna go with that. In the meantime, and let you guys just give you my thoughts of which bets to make based on two-way bets only. And I thought that if you haven't checked out the preview of this event, myself and brother Jedi did this preview nicely for you guys. He's on our YouTube page. Go check it out. It's all there. I didn't give my full opinion on a lot of these fights. I kind of left the floor for Jed to do that. So that's why I'm taking my opportunity to do it now in the parlay episodes. I felt that if I can give my extensive view on these fights, it may or may not help you out there make your picks this weekend. Always gamble responsibly. All right, let's go to the first fight of the night, or the first fight on the main event. We obviously see Islam Makhachev, the pound for pound number one, defending his lightweight strap against Arman Tsarukyan. This is the second time that these guys are going to fight. A little bit of background on these two guys. Islam Makhachev is current lightweight champion. His record is 26 wins, 1 loss, 0 no contest. He's on a 14 fight winning streak as it stands. 5 wins by KO, 12 wins by submission with a 60% striking accuracy and a 54% takedown accuracy with a 91% takedown defense. He's got a 3.19 takedown average, and he beat Dustin Poirier by submission in the 5th round in his last fight. I'm giving you these numbers because they are very important numbers to help maybe navigate your decisions. As you can see, that's a very, very good statistics for Islam Makhachev. As for Arman Tsarukyan, he's number one in the lightweight division as it stands. His record is 22 wins, 3 losses, 0 no contest. He's got 9 wins by KO, 5 wins by submission, and 8 first round finishes. 49% striking accuracy with a 37% takedown accuracy and a 75% takedown defense. He's got a 3.25 takedown average per 15 minutes, like Islam Makhachev's 3.19. And also, Arman Tsarukyan beat Charles Oliveira in his last fight by split decision. Okay, giving you those numbers because these guys are absolutely amazing. I'm just going to quickly bring up the betting odds on the screen for you. Just to have a look at it, and then you can continue to sort of break down why I suggest who you need to pick. So let's just go here. 14 bet on screen. Let me just zoom it in for you. I'm gonna go to the. There we go. All right. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so Arman Tsarukyan Makhachev fight. You can see on screen that Islam Makhachev is the favorite at 1.27. And Arman Tsarukyan is the big underdog at 3.85, nearly 4. That's a very good paycheck if Arman Tsarukyan's winning this fight. I personally don't think that the betting odds are supposed to be that overwhelmingly different. I personally feel like these guys are actually closer match, and therefore I would have gone at maybe 1.27 to maybe Arman Tsarukyan 1.85. You know that it's that close. It really is that close. I'm gonna go and say that Islam Makhachev is probably gonna get the fight done. But I'm saying that with a little bit of, as you can see in my voice and my character, I'm a little bit apprehensive for saying that out loud because I think Arman Tsarukyan is probably the only person in this division that can actually take Islam Makhachev on at every avenue of the fight. He can wrestle just as well. He's got transition wrestling equally as good as Islam Makhachev. I'm not too sure if he can do submissions the same way. Even though Arman Tsarukyan has got some submissions, like I said, he's got 5 wins by sub, but he's got a better handwork. He's better boxer than Islam Makhachev. Probably better kickboxer than Makhachev as well. But Makhachev has really leveled up his striking since being in the UFC. As you can see, when he fought against Dustin Poirier, he outboxed probably the best boxer in lightweight division. So Arman Tsarukyan, I think, can probably stand up a little bit better than Islam. The only thing that maybe I'm worried about for Arman Tsarukyan is he going to have the stamina to go the 5 rounds? They fought the last time the fight was 3 round fight, and it's pretty much that they were even all the way up until when Arman Tsarukyan faded towards the 3rd round, and then that's when Makhachev took over and kind of beaten him. So would we see something similar in this fight? I'm gonna go with Islam Makhachev. I think he's a pound for a reason. I think his style, his blueprint for his style is probably the hardest style to beat right now in world of MMA. So for that reason, I think he's gonna be the one that's gonna win. I don't think he's gonna stop Arman Tsarukyan. I don't think he's gonna tap him out. No, knock him out. I think the fight's gonna go to a decision. And I think the safe money for this fight is going to be Islam Makhachev to get the job done over the course of 5 rounds. There's no props out just yet, so you can't choose that kind of prop just yet. Just straight 2 ways. So I will probably go with Arman Tsarukyan. Whatever amount you put in it, it's up to you. Gamble responsibly. But I'm just going to say a safe bet here would be Arman Tsarukyan, would be Islam Makhachev to get the job done over the course of 5 rounds. Deep down in my heart, I want Arman Tsarukyan to win the fight. Actually, I would be elated if he can get the job done. I also think his style is the kind of style that can beat Makhachev. But Islam Makhachev is something else, man. He's like he's the perfect MMA fighter. He's the perfect MMA fighter. Not hands down. I don't think there's anything else right now. I think Mighty Mouse was probably the other guy. I would go as far as to say he's probably the best MMA fighter you'll ever see on the face of any era. Okay. We're going to keep it moving, ladies and gentlemen, to the co-main event. And co-main event, we are seeing, as you can see on screen here, I'm just going to move my cursor like that. We have Merab Dvalishvili taking on Umar Nurmagomedov in the bantamweight division. This is a title fight as well. It's the first title defense for Merab Dvalishvili. And he's taking on, like I said, Umar Nurmagomedov. This fight has got some heavy bad blood in it. I'm not even sure what bad blood is about. When I hear the argument stuff, I'm thinking to myself, it kind of feels like you just had in the fight, guys. I don't actually believe that these guys have got bad blood. But okay, let it be. I'd sell in the fight as it is. Let me give some numbers again before we go into the betting odds. Merab Dvalishvili, bantamweight champion, he's ranked number 7 in the pound for pound list. His record right now is 18 wins, 4 losses, 0 no contests. He's got 11 fight winning streak as it stands. He's 3 wins by KO, 1 win by submission, 42% striking accuracy with 57% takedown accuracy, and an 81% takedown defense. But the most staggering number of all is that he's got a 6.09 takedown average per 15 minutes. And he beat, obviously, Sugar Sean O'Malley in his last fight by a unanimous decision to get the title. That 6.9 average takedown per 15 minutes is probably going to be the key factor in this fight, because that just shows the kind of wrestling pedigree that Merab Dvalishvili has. Umar Nurmagomedov is currently ranked number 2 in the bantamweight division. He's undefeated. Record is 18-0, 18 wins, as you know, 7 wins by sub, 5 first round finishes, 63% striking accuracy with a 50% takedown accuracy and 100% takedown defense. No one has ever tried to take him down so far. He's got a 3.98 takedown average per 15 minutes, and he beat Cody the Sandman Sandhagen in his last fight. Really impressive, by the way. If you've beaten Sandhagen, you have to be on some kind of level. These two guys, I think, are evenly matched. I do think Umar Nurmagomedov is probably going to have the advantage in the striking department, so I look to see him utilize the strikes. I don't think he's going to... I think they're going to wrestle, because that's both of their fortes, but it won't take long before the guys start to nullify each other's wrestling, and they're going to be forced to stand up and get into the striking department. I think that Merab Dvalishvili has got the better stamina. I think he can go on for longer than Nurmagomedov. I also think that Merab has got the better conditioning, but he's going up against someone who is as equally as talented as he is in terms of the combat sambo, wrestling, and the judo. I think they're pretty much evenly matched. Where Umar has the advantage is the strike. So when the fight is on the feet, I'm keen to see what Merab's going to do to sort of navigate that striking of Umar. When they're on the ground, I'm keen to see who's going to be the dominant wrestler and who's going to stay on top. Who's going to tire out first? I think the person that's going to tire out first in this fight, get tired first in this fight, is going to be the one that's going to lose. Like in most fights. Some fighters can sometimes get the second wind. We saw Roman Kopylov and Chris Curtis just last week. Kopylov got the second wind and ended up winning the fight. Same with this thing. Whoever gets tired first here is going to lose the fight. But this is a championship fight, so expected to go to 5 rounds. I'm going to go with a 5-round decision win for Merab Dvalishvili. But I wouldn't be surprised if Umar also gets the job done. Now, let's go to the numbers. As you can see on screen, Merab Dvalishvili is the underdog at 3.40, and Umar Nurmagomedov is at favorite at 1.33. So I think the safe money is also the big money for this fight. If you put in your money down on Merab Dvalishvili as a two-way 3.40, I know it looks like it's we're going to take a gamble and it's a lower. But I think this is a bit of a calculated gamble for me. I personally feel like if you put some money on Merab with that kind of odds against Nurmagomedov, I think this is going to be a good paycheck. Personally, I think it's going to be a very good paycheck for him. So I'm surprised that the odds are like this. I'm very surprised that these are the odds for this fight. But Merab Dvalishvili, 5 rounds, getting the job done. He's probably going to win round 2, 3, and round 5. Lose round 1 and round 4. That's how I think this fight's going to go on. Let me know in the comments, gentlemen, what you think about this fight. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Obviously, you can see it. I'm going to go with Merab. The safe money, even though it's the gamble, isn't according of the odds. But I think it's gonna play out really well. Okay, we keep it moving to the fight before that. It's a title eliminator light heavyweight division. We have Jiri Prochazka taking on Jamal Hill. How can I keep 18 minutes in? I've got to take on. What an absolute idiot. So Jiri Prochazka versus Jamal Hill. This is a title eliminator light heavyweight division. Jiri Prochazka is currently both of them are former champions in this division. But Jiri Prochazka is currently ranked at number 2 in this division light heavyweight. The record is 30 wins, 5 losses, 0 and 1 no contest, or 1 draw, excuse me. He's got 26 wins by KO, 3 wins by submission, and 23 first round finishes. Granted, a lot of these fights are outside of the UFC, but we know that he's a fantastic body of work in the UFC. Make sure that he's got this amazing pedigree. 55% striking accuracy with a 60% takedown accuracy and a 60% takedown defense, with a 5.38 significant strikes landed per minute. His last fight, he lost to Alex Poatan Pereira by KO in the second round. Whereas Jamal Hill, also the former champion, currently ranked number 3 in light heavyweight division. His record is 12 wins, 2 losses, 0 no contests. He's got 7 wins by KO and 4 first round finishes. 55% striking accuracy with a 73% takedown defense and a 7.18 significant strikes per minute. He too has lost to Alex Poatan Pereira in his last fight by first round KO. All right, let's look at the odds of this fight. So we have Jiri Prochazka at 10.10 as the underdog and Jamal Hill at 1.75 as the favorite. Very interesting to see that because both these guys have been relatively the same kind of activeness status in this division so far. I think Jamal Hill has got probably one of the more competent boxing styles within the two guys. I do think that Jiri Prochazka has got the wild kind of style. Kicks the calves, he deep kicks, he throws spinning elbows, he throws up kicks, he throws all sorts of weird shit. He's got his hands down all the time. And he also, I think he's slightly taller than Jamal Hill in terms of the reach advantage. His style is kind of the confusing kind of style. He puts his head in your way and he moves around a lot like that. So it's a quite interesting fight to see. I want to go with Jamal Hill. I really do. I really do want to go with Jamal Hill, but I think Jiri Prochazka's style is going to be a bit too difficult for him to deal with. Jamal does throw some cool kicks. He's got a very good switch kick on him. He's a learning fighter. He's obviously growing with the game as the game is growing. And he proved that when he fought against Glover Teixeira. But he's fighting against someone much younger than Glover Teixeira here. And he's fighting against arguably the most competitive fighter in this division, in Jiri Prochazka, other than Alex Poatan Pereira, who we both lost to. So I'm going to go with Jiri Prochazka because I think he's got more tools in the tool shed. I think he's going to be quicker, snappier with his strikes. The only concern is that his style puts him in the line of fire and just takes one punch to put him out. And Jamal Hill can definitely put people away. He is that kind of guy. It's just a matter of, is he going to be able to take the pace? Is he going to be able to establish his game plan on Prochazka? Prochazka is the kind of guy that, other than Alex, no one has been able to put their game plan on him and do it successfully. Everyone has fallen short in this division. So, mouth-watering. As you can see, I'm going to again go with the underdog in this fight, Jiri Prochazka, even though he is the underdog on the betting odds. Again, like I've been saying, and Jiri's been saying in the previous episode, this could potentially be a massive paycheck for people that's going to be betting on this fight card. I'm going to go Jiri Prochazka for the win. I don't see the fight going over the decision. I think Jiri Prochazka is probably going to get the job done in round 2. Pardon me, he's probably going to stop Jamal Hill in the second round. Give me your thoughts, please, gentlemen. Give me your thoughts. If you got a different parlay pick, let me know the parlay picks in the episode, in the comments. Really cool to hear your thoughts. But if you want to get on these bets, I do firmly believe that these bets are going to land the way I've been discussing. It's a big call, obviously, anything can happen in the fight, but I personally feel like the fight's going to turn out the way I think. All right, now last two fights we're going to touch on. This is going to be the final two fights I'm going to be doing, and that's going to complete my parlay for this fight card. I'm not going to be doing any bets on the prelims or early prelims as well. Okay, so just put that marker in there. The next fight we'll be talking about is Beneil Dariush, who is the number 9th ranked lightweight in the UFC. His record is 22 wins, 6 losses, and 1 no contest. He's got 5 wins by KO, 8 wins by submission, and 8 first round finishes. A 49% striking accuracy with an 81% takedown defense and a 3.78 significant strikes landed per minute. He lost to Arman Tsarukyan in his last fight by first round KO. His opponent, Renato Manny Moicano, is the current number 10 lightweight fighter. He's in the UFC. He currently has a record of 20 wins, 5 losses, and 1 no contest. For 10 wins by submission, 4 first round finishes, and a 49% striking accuracy. He's got a 44% takedown accuracy with a 73% takedown defense and a 4.42 significant strikes landed per minute, beating Benoit Santoni in his last fight in France. Fantastic performance. I think Renato Moicano is currently on a upward trajectory. He's got good momentum on him right now, and I do think he would be the safe person to bet on in this fight. Right, so betting odds. We have Beneil Dariush at 2.40 as the underdog and Manny Moicano as 1.60. And based on his nickname, Manny Moicano, you're going to have to go with the money on Manny Moicano. In this fight, I like Beneil Dariush. He's a go-getter. He's one of the guys that is difficult to beat in this division. He only really lost against the top guys, really, if you've been honest. Other than that, he's putting on the show against anyone else, which is kind of maintained his status in that he was in the upper echelon, but then he kind of moved down a little bit. But he still kind of, for me, holds a very good weight to his name in this division, which is why it makes for a really good opponent for Manny Moicano as he climbs the ranking. However, Manny Moicano has kind of like turned his whole life around since he's been able to move to the US, started his business, joined ATT, trained with Dustin Poirier, what's his name? Gilbert Burns. I think Manny Moicano is going to get the job done here. I can see him finishing Beneil Dariush as well, because Dariush doesn't really go the distance. He's not the kind of guy, which means it's going to be a barn burner. And I think Manny Moicano has leveled up to the point where he's not as he's not as reckless as he used to be. He's a lot more calculated. He can still wrestle really well. Black belt in jiu-jitsu. Always been a very good striker. He's pulled out really well for lightweight. And he's just honing in on his career really well now. And for that, I'm going to go with Manny Moicano. Get the job done over the course of 2 rounds. Maybe even get to finish in the 3rd round. But Manny Moicano is the kind of guy that starts hard, starts fast. So he kind of looks to finish fights in the 1st round. But if he doesn't, you still see him getting the job done in the 3rd round. Manny Moicano for the win here. Safe money, Manny Moicano. Right, let's keep it moving. We're going to go on to the opening fight of this main card between Kevin Holland, that's right on top of the page, as you can see there. Kevin Holland taking on Rania Derrida in the middleweight division. Let's give you some statistics for these two gentlemen. Kevin Big Mouth Holland, his record in the UFC is currently 26 wins, 12 losses, no contest. He's got 14 wins by KO. 14 wins by KO. Number down for how many subs. But he's got 13 first round finishes. He's got a 49% striking accuracy and 39% takedown accuracy with a 54% takedown defense and a 4.24 significant strikes per minute. He lost to Roman Dolidze in his last fight by first round KO. It's a bit unfortunate. And Rene Derrida, on the other hand, his record is 18 wins, 2 losses, no contest. 4 wins by KO, 12 wins by submission, 10 first round finishes, 8% striking accuracy with a 38% takedown accuracy and 100% takedown defense. He's got a 6.39 takedown average per 15 minutes. He beat Gerald Meerschaert in his last fight. Fantastic performance. And also, like I mentioned today, he's a former 2-time champion out of 1 championship. This is the UFC. I'm not going to go on too much about his previous career. You can go look at that for yourself. It was a phenomenal run that he had in everybody before he came up against Anatoly Malikin. But okay, in this organization with the UFC, I think the perfect opponent for Rene Derrida, because he doesn't really have that much years left, if we're being really honest. So he kind of really has to fast track his career in the UFC if he's going to want to become some kind of household name or kind of finalize his career on a high, which means he can't continuously take on outside contenders that are outside of the top 15. So I think fighting against Kevin Holland is a perfect opportunity for him to, if he wins this fight, he can say, listen, put me in the top 15 of the middleweight division now. I think I can take on some of the top 15 guys. Whereas Kevin Holland is the kind of fighter that just racks up a lot of cashes because of bonuses, taking on fights quite frequently throughout the year, and taking on really like hot prospect names, which kind of made Kevin Holland really famous if you think about it. While he's got actually a very, very phenomenal style. I really do think he's a fighter that can beat a lot of guys, but I do think he's just always going to be out of reach of that top five, the middleweight or the welterweight division. But for this fight, it's kind of hard to pick. It's a bit of a pick 'em one for me. In terms of the numbers, we can clearly see on screen that Kevin Holland is the ever so slightly the favorite at 1.95. Then the Redder is the 1.87 underdog. This is the first fight on the card that actually looks pretty even to me, which is very accurate and one of the betting numbers that kind of makes sense. Everything else, I was like, that looks a bit dodgy. This one is a little bit accurate in terms of betting odds. And I am going to tip it towards Kevin Holland as the favorite. I do think he's not the more experienced, but I do think he's the more battle-tested fighter in terms of which opponents to go up against. And the Redder has got a lot of accolades. He's got grappling accolades. He's got MMA accolades. He's a world champion in a lot of stuff. He beats people with ease, taps people out very good. He's got a very good ground game. But he has to get there first. His striking also isn't too bad. Not the most best, like it's not the most deadliest thing you'll see, but his striking is good enough to set up his takedowns, set up his wrestling, and his deep work is phenomenal. So Kevin Holland's going to have to navigate that deep, navigate the long range, and kind of just work off his jab, work off his 1-2 punches, maybe deep back, maybe leg kick really well, fake the takedown if you have to. You almost make René think that he's going to get down to the ground, make him more comfortable that you guys are going to go to the ground, then switch up with him a little bit more. Hard to bet on this fight. But I think safe money here is going to be Kevin Holland, 1.957, 1.95 is the safe money for me to bet on this one. Kevin Holland to get the job over the course of the 3 rounds. He's going to win the fight by decision, and I'll say decision. It's going to be more competitive than what we think, personally. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is the time that is our parlay picks. We're going to go over it again just one more time for you on screen. Let's just do that so we can close off the show nice and strong. So, main event, Islam Makhachev defending his title against Arman Tsarukyan. I went with Islam Makhachev to win the fight over the course of 5 rounds. That's the safe money for me there. So that's obviously that one. And then, like I said, Merab Dvalishvili to win the fight also over 5 rounds. And then we have Jiri Prohaska, which I think is also going to win the fight. I don't know if it's going to go over the course of the 3 rounds. I think he's probably going to win the fight by knockout. Peniel Dariush versus Manny Moicano. I said Manny Moicano to win the fight either in the first round by finish or to win the fight in the 3rd round by finish or decision. And then finally, we're going to go with Kevin Holland, loudmouth, get the job done by a decision over the course of 3 rounds. And that will give you a total odds. There we go. Let's zoom in here. If you're going to go on a multi like that, that will give you a total odds of 28.29, and that's not bad at all. So if you put in 5 rand on that, you will get 155 rand. You guys are into bet out there, but I personally feel like what I'm saying on this fight is probably going to happen. So if you're looking to bet, guys, I would say get in on this parlay, but also let me know what your parlay is in our comments list. But that is my time, gentlemen. I think it's going to be a good paycheck for the guys this weekend here at Fighting with Friends. I'm just going to quickly bring this up to screen before I conclude so we can kind of end off the show nice and smoothly. That is my time, gentlemen. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. We're almost on 1,000 subscribers. I cannot wait once we reach that number because it's going to open up so much doors for us here at the Fighting with Friends. But you can catch the UFC's first pay-per-view of the year this Sunday, 19th of January at 5 o'clock in the morning South African time. It is Islam Makhachev taking Arman Tsarukyan for the 2nd time, as well as Merab Dvalishvili defending his title against the undefeated Umar Nurmagomedov. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, stay safe, stay blessed. You can definitely catch myself and the boys when we recap this event almost immediately after we watch it. So on that note, Have a good week. Enjoy the weekend that's coming up. And you will see me on the next one.